What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video. I have had some phenomenal loot raids over the weekend and I wanted to share that with you. You guys know how much of a fan I am of the mass miners. You've seen it on the channel before. Anyone that hasn't, I'll try my best to explain it in simple terms, but the tutorial video for it will be linked in the top right. So I tend to use it to farm Dark Elixir. As you can see on this raid, almost 7,350,000 gold and elixir, so we obviously had to hit it. That means that with my loot bonus, because I like to farm in Champions or Titans League with this, I gain around about 1 million in gold and elixir, which is crazy. So I've already set the funnel on one side of the base with my queen charge in this instance and my king and wizards on the other side. That just leaves my mass miners to plow through the middle of the base with the grand warden. Now I tend to use all of the spells with the miners. That is the main bulk of my strategy here. That is where the strength comes from, but I do use the rage spell on the queen occasionally because she can flank down an entire side of the base, and towards the end of raids she does sometimes take out them remaining defenses, get you that remaining loot. But again, guys, if you are using this, you want to be wary of your hero's health as well. The main disadvantage of this is that the king tends to take a lot of damage tanking for the wizards, and I don't quite get them miners in quick enough because I need him to set the funnel. So he takes a lot of damage. 9 times out of 10 he actually goes down, but I tend not to do raids kind of one after the other with this. I do tend to wait around about an hour, or at least until their miners have cooked back up again, before I will do another attack. Now let's show you some of the brilliant loot raids I pulled in this weekend, then we will do a live attack as well. Again, I like to farm kind of in Champions League or low Titans League, and you can see, generally speaking, I come in from the side where I'm going to access that Dark Elixir storage the fastest. Again, guys, you don't need 100%. Ideally, if you can get to 70% destruction, that means that you will get 100% loot bonus. So you want to try and get to that, but really it's just getting that Dark Elixir. So I tend not to get too wrapped up in terms of coming in order to 3-star the base. I just go for the Dark Elixir. Town Hall is a storage now as well, guys, so do not forget that. You ideally want to get that Town Hall down as well. King set the funnel over on this side with them wizards for the miners to go straight into the middle of the base where that Dark Elixir is. Broke the queen into that little compartment on the right so she could continue to control the miners. Then I like to use the heal spells kind of in a line through the center of the base. I start them where the miners come in. If there's any wizard towers, bomb towers, anything like that, I'll get a heal spell in initially. I tend to use the Grand Warden's ability to tank for an eagle artillery shot, but it depends what comes out of the CC as well. I do like to take one poison spell. It's the only piece of Dark Elixir that I use within this strategy. That is why it's so good at farming Dark Elixir. But I tend to, like I said, use the Grand Warden's ability through the Eagle Artillery. I'll use the heal spells in a line, and I will a lot of the time use one of the rage spells on the queen, but some of the times as well it's actually more beneficial to use the rage spell on your miners to push them forward, get them ahead of the queen. In the middle of the base there tends to be a lot of high HP buildings, storages, inferno towers, town hall, things like that. If you can get a rage spell onto the miners, they will get it down quick enough. Now, one thing that is important to note in terms of the poison spell, it's not just the CC. If your miners get into the middle of the base and the skeleton traps pop off and there's a lot of skeletons all over, the miners will continually go underground, pop back up to try and get that single skeleton, and it wastes so much time, especially if there's splash damage. Often it's worth putting a poison spell onto them skeletons just to get them down. Let's focus on the raid itself. This one, I've kind of just described the strategy, had the raids on in the background for them first two. Breaking the queen in here, any ring base like this is perfect because you can get the queen to take out a number of buildings on this side and focus the miners into the middle. You ideally want to do that on the other side as well. Having the walls quite low helped me to get the king in, and I obviously want to just wait at this point until until the king has set that funnel. But I don't wait too long. As soon as it's done, the miners are in. Obviously, as they come forward, they're going to then protect my queen. I do put a poison, or a heal spell in, sorry, fairly early on because the miners are quite clumped together and the eagle artillery is going to get a shot off here. And then as they move forward, you can see these high HP buildings I was talking about, clan castle storages, eagle artillery, inferno towers. That is prime location to use the rage spell so that the miners can just blast them down. And you can see how the heal spell, I put one here, one here, one here. We kind of just used them in a line through the base, and the miners are still very well healed up at this stage. I tend not to save one for the back end of the base because generally speaking, I've already got what I want from the raid at this point. I'm going to hold out because I think I can get this gold storage, but in all honesty, you want to use them spells earlier on and just get what you want. I would be very happy even if I didn't get that gold storage. I've already got 400,000 gold, all of the Dark Elixir. That is what I want from the raid, really. So I'd be happy at this stage if it didn't go down, to be honest. But obviously, if you can save out in order to get that, just let your heroes go through. It depends how you want to play it, guys. Again, I tend not to do one raid straight after another. If you do that, you probably want to try and save the health on your heroes a little bit more. I tend to just, you know, if they go down, they go down. I'm not going to raid for another 45 minutes to an hour anyway. And, yeah, so it really doesn't matter for me, but I will have that second army of miners cooking up in the background. Now, I'm not sure, let's just show you my attack log so you can see everything. I don't think there's any others worth showing you, really. They're all about the same. As you can see, I don't always get the 100%, but generally speaking, I get close to it at this region. That was kind of a lava loon mess around at the bottom there. Let's quickly whiz through this attack before we get onto the live one. Again, there's an inferno tower down with this one. It's a lower base. Again, guys, I stress this so much. As you're raiding, as you're searching for bases, there might be a base with a ton of Dark Elixir in the middle. It might be so tempting, but if you know in your heart that you cannot get that base, that you're just not going to be strong enough, your army isn't strong enough, whatever, just press next. You're far better waiting until you can hit a base that you know you can take. And again, that loot bonus as well, you get quite a lot at this level. You want to wait until you get that. So again, what I was talking about, I have another army cooking up in the background there. You always want to do that. I have the attack strategy here, my miner farming strategy in the quick build, so I can just literally train it again. Let's look at this base. I mean, there's not a load of Dark Elixir. It is a ring base. I'm quite confident I could have got in and got that. Town Hall was at the other side, so I'm not confident I could have got all of that. Town Hall 10, we don't need to crush that. There was no elixir. Ideally, I like to try and pull a little bit of elixir in, but it's really not a priority because my loot bonus will give me the elixir that I need, so it's not that much of an issue. If I drop elixir slowly, again, you tend not to be honest, because you have your storages that you're pulling in elixir with all of the time, so you tend not to drop it. Plus clan wars, I don't spend too much elixir on that, and you tend to pull quite a lot in, so you don't generally have to worry about it too much. But it is something you need to be wary of, guys, about the amount of elixir you're pulling in. But generally speaking, it is the Dark Elixir for me. Set yourself a target. I like to say around about 3,500 to 4,000 is my cut-off point. I tend not to take bases lower than that unless the golden elixir was ridiculous, because I still do need golden elixir for walls. It's just not necessarily what I'm looking for. I do aim to pull it in though, so that's kind of, you know, it just depends what you're aiming for. I tend to try and pull in Dark Elixir as the priority, but I do like to bring in gold and elixir as well. I'm really hoping, guys, that we can indeed find a base here pretty soon that is worthwhile taking. I'll try and describe to you why I wouldn't attack certain bases. Let's have a look at this one. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could get in and get that Dark Elixir. There's obviously kind of Teslas, I would assume, there. We don't need to get to the back end of the base again. So let's take this one, guys, as a good example. There's not much golden elixir, but I don't want you sitting forever waiting for me finding a base. But it's a good example of funneling correctly. So I don't actually need to take the queen into the base. Let's just use her on the outside. Ideally, though, I do want the king getting into the base a little bit as well. So let's kind of fly them wall breakers in, try and get the king in there because he's going to set that funnel, but I don't really need the queen to, as if I just threw the wall breakers in and they go down. I kind of knew that was going to happen as well, guys, but oh well, it does kind of happen. Get them miners in with the Grand Warden. Let's get a heal spell in as well because there is a bomb tower there, and I put a few of them down the bottom. Looks like they are tanking for that Grand Warden, for the Eagle Artillery, sorry. Then let's get a rage spell in to try and push them onto where this is. I'm actually going to use that poison spell again onto that area where there is skeleton traps that have popped. Continue to put the heal spells in there, which was quite important. As you can see, the rage spells doing a lot to help the miners through. The wizard towers doing a lot of damage on the miners. I really just want the town hall at this point, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to get it, guys. Again, you don't have to get all of the base. I've got the Dark Elixir storage. Miners going down quickly, so I'm not actually going to get the town hall. What is the queen doing? Why would she not attack the army camp? Then at this stage, it is just trying to see if you can get to 70% without wasting too much health on your queen. And to be honest, she is going to have quite a lot of health wasted. Each percentage that you get is kind of racking up in terms of loot bonus, but I'm going to end it there, and we did only get around about 4,000 Dark Elixir, but I hope you get the idea, guys. That wraps it up for this one. I've been your host, Judo Sloth. Kind of a terrible live example, but I didn't want to go on forever. Until next time, peace out.